PS2MANYGAMES.
Hello everyone and welcome back to PS2MANYGAMES. This is the first of what probably going to be 3 parts of a road trip that I took with Dan the Gamesman. We went to many places in one day. This is part 1. This will be Attleborough and Thetford. So 2 places if you will, but we end up going to 5 different places. So in short, me and Dan the Gamesman do occasionally go on these road trips, maybe once in 2 months. For many reasons. Firstly, due to the fact that we both have full-time jobs, we need to pick and choose our times. Secondly, getting so many stores done in one day is very helpful. Beneficial, if you will. Because sometimes I go like a 4 week, I'll go like a shopping, if you will, like going to like CEX. Sometimes, obviously, like True Life gets in the way. As you can imagine, True Life always gets in the way. Yeah. So this is one of those times. So this episode is going to be Attleborough and Thetford. 2 very small middle class Norfolk towns. especially Attleborough. That's very good to us. Anyway, let's get the show on the road, shall we? Right, so part two of the day out. Obviously, part one Attleborough is done. Did quite well in Attleborough, actually. Give me a second, get some shade. There we go. We're now in Thetford, and a significantly lot more peaceful here in Thetford. There is a CX in Thetford. We're going to check other shops too. So let's see what it looks like here. So firstly, before we get to the actual footage and like game showing off, a couple of things. While I was out, I did pick up another DVD rack from a charity shop. This one cost £10, which may be a little more than people expect these days for DVD rack. But it is thick as hell wood. I mean, this legit holds 40 DVD/games, but the thickness of the wood. If you're going to buy this at like any like B&Q these days, you'll be paying quite a lot more than £10 for this. It weighs a lot. So what I'm going to do now, if you can see, this is now going to become the new rack of my most expensive games, because it's nicer, it holds more of them, and I like it. So what am I going to do with the old rack, the old cheap £5 rack? We'll get that a little later on in the episode. I do have a plan for this. It's not like an awesome plan, but like a handy idea, if you know what I mean. So as you might have seen in the footage, the main reason I went to Attleborough is for an independent game store that Dan recommended to me, and it's also a friend of Dan. We'll get that in a second, but while we were there, we also went through a few charity shops, because charity shops are banging for game collectors. For the first time in a while, I actually picked up a game I needed. I know, shocking. Very shocking. It's not an awesome game, but it's a game I have to get. Long story short, it's one of the football club games. It's Manchester United. And yes, I did pay £3 for it, and that's probably £2 more than it's worth. But I do have to collect these, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to use this cheap rack for this now. They made 22 different versions of the club football games. 22 different clubs and one international team got their own PS2/Xbox game where you just literally play as that club going for a season. It was a cool concept, and the teams back then kind of held up, but it didn't play that particularly well. It was made by Codemasters, so they tried. But after about 2 years, they decided to stop doing it for the simple reason that they probably didn't sell enough copies, and obviously the main reason FIFA and Pro Evo pretty much destroyed this in the sales. Obviously, having two what I call like major football franchise bringing out games every year, you're not going to buy these unless you're actually the hardcore fans. That and some of the teams they picked might sound a bit weird. Like for instance, obviously you got your Man United, your Liverpools, your Arsenals, but you also got like Leeds and Birmingham. Now, back in the day, Leeds and Birmingham were in the Premier League, so it made some financial sense. Plus, obviously, Birmingham being the second biggest city in the country, and Leeds being the big city in itself. You understand. It's all the European teams that have got to fight. It's going to be hard. Inter Milan, Hamburg. I think there was Hamburg, I could be wrong. Borussia Dortmund have got to find. These teams are going to be very hard to find for the simple reason that not many British people would have bought Borussia Dortmund the football game. So, yeah, anyway, they're going to go in here for the time being. I think I've only got two of them, because you need to do I've got three, and I'll tell a lie. Because I've already got Arsenal, which cost me 50p, and Colin's going to love this. I've got Celtic, which cost me £4 £4 for Celtic. So, as it stands right now, I'm just going to leave it like that. You're not going to see this very often. The only time you're going to see this, obviously, is when I get another club game. But it's probably going to go up here for now, so... Just thinking ahead. So yeah, I got that from a charity shop. I think it was another Age UK. No, it wasn't. It was a Dogs Trust. Good charity, by the way. If you want to get a dog, just adopt a dog who has a bad time when you're a puppy or just been mistreated. Dogs Trust, highly recommend them. Snetterton is probably the closest one for any Norfolk or Suffolk people. That sounded really weird the way I just said that, but I'm going to go with it. So, more power to you. The main reason we went to Attleborough first is the independent game store Omega's Emporium. This game store's only been there about 3 to 4 months. Good friend of Dan, the games man. He told me many times to try his place out, and I wanted to. It's just right time, right place, and obviously that was about 5 days ago. As you see in the footage, varied range of games, well kept, good sized store, quite a lot of rare items, especially in the cabinets, very rare items. Very nice store, and very well positioned, literally in the centre of Attleborough, literally like opposite the actual middle part of Attleborough, where they've got the massive Attleborough sign in the middle of old-fashioned town centre sign. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So fantastic positioning. He's doing. I believe he's doing well. He gave me an impression he was doing well. Very nice man. While we were there, I picked up 3 games. You'll see in the footage there's a lot of stuff I would have bought. A lot of box consoles. I was like, I can use that. the silver PS2 was well priced, but obviously this is just a week after I picked this up for 40 quid. So I didn't say anything, but I was very smug at that point. I was like, still a good eBay buy. And we'll go for the 3 games I picked up there, because these 3 games are, not only have I not seen them before, but I've not heard of a couple of these before. So they might sound like dumb misnomer, but you see what I mean. First game, Run Like Hell. Just the name alone has me intrigued. So basically, I'm going to assume it's some kind of like first-person shooter. The fact you got like a little person shooting like the run part. Yeah, I've never even heard of this game before, but I'm going to try it. You'll see in it the footage Dave finds. This actually looks like a decent game, and for £8, yeah, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to give this a go. This actually looks intriguing. Game number 2 from Omega's Emporium. Another one that intrigues me. Goblin Commander. Unleash the Horde! In all seriousness, once again, never heard of this game, but you can tell by the text and look of it, gives very much like not Wizards of Warlocks, Jesus. Online RMO RPGs, you know what I mean? My god, my brain has just died. But you can literally have goblin armies from 25 different types of goblin. I didn't even know there was more than one type of goblin. I thought a goblin was a goblin. And I play in D&D. Once again, another game I'm going to play. The graphics might have aged like last week's Curry, but I'm still going to play it. It still looks intriguing. Looks intriguing to me. Let me get closer. There we go. Yeah. You might notice a bit of difference. We're testing this for this episode. Usually I record on other devices, but I'm recording on the laptop today. Because A, I've never done this before. B, I'm intrigued if it was any better or worse. So obviously no microphone, so my volume might be different. As you can tell, the closer I get to this, the more you hear me. So this could be a one and done. If it is, I apologise for the quality of this episode, but I have to try this. We've got to see how it is. So anyway, that's why the some of this might be a bit terrible. Oh god, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? Anyway, game number 3 from Omega's Emporium, the last one. I Ninja. It's quite a adorable ninja, actually. Small but deadly. And ninjas make everything better. The whole ninjas vs pirate concept that was on the internet like 10 years ago. Ninjas is cooler. Ninjas are just cooler. They always have been. Made by Namco, so it's going to be made pretty well. Obviously, as you can tell by the massive sticker, I paid a sizzling tenner for this. Still very happy to have it. And I will try this. So that's all 3 games from Omega's Emporium that I not only will try, but were reasonably priced. There was quite a few games that I needed, but I couldn't afford because I was trying to spend how much money I spent for the day. Bear in mind, I was going to end up with 5 or 4 different places. I had to prioritise what we do. I had to prioritise how it went, if you will, and it went well.
Which went well.
I would highly recommend Omega's Emporium to anyone who lives near Attleborough. Literally Google it, you can literally find it. It's in the centre of Attleborough, you cannot miss it. And parking is quite easy and very, very nearby. Like, we're talking like yards. So, there's no excuse not being able to get there and park close. So, only slight concern, the one-way system in Attleborough isn't great, especially in rush hour, for obvious reasons. But highly recommended Attleborough for the charity shops and the independent store. Like a gem in the rough. Very good place to go game hunting. Highly recommended. But let's move on to the town next door, Thetford. Another very middle class town, another place we found parking relatively easy. And as you saw in the footage, it has its own CEX, and the CEX has been trying to go for some time. We went on a Thursday, and it was a very quiet Thursday. You might see in the footage, not many people in the town centre, which for us was fantastic. I didn't have much luck, if any luck, in any charity shops there. Dan did. You'll see that in one of his episodes in the future. The only place I picked the games up in Thetford was the CEX. It was a good CEX overall. Bit of randomness. First of all, the music. We were there for about 25 minutes, and no word of a lie, 8 to 9 straight heavy metal rock songs, which I'm all good for. Apparently, you can choose your own playlists in CEXs, because in Great Yarmouth, it's the most random playlist you ever heard. In Thetford, it's all heavy metal, which I approve. So that was a perk. It was also a bit weird, not in a bad way. So I picked up a few games under £5, as you'd imagine that I was going to. It's the way it is. The CDs or discs were already in the case. So that's the first time I've seen that in CEX. So we just asked there. Apparently, in this CEX, anything below £5, they just put the discs in the case. Just makes it a lot easier, because behind their till area, they haven't got much room in the CEX. It's very tight enclosed. Which makes a lot of sense for practicality, but it also screams out, please steal me. But being in Thetford, I don't imagine they get a lot of theft in Thetford. I don't imagine they get a lot of theft in Thetford. But I never know. So that was a bit different, that was a bit unique. But we did pick up quite a few games in the CEX, and we'll go through them one by one very, very shortly. So I picked up 7 games from Thetford CEX. Having the discs in the game helped me tremendously, because for Platinums, CEX do not list PS2 Platinums. So you have to ask at Tills if they've got the actual disc. If they have, you take it. If they don't, you leave it behind. But obviously, for the real cheap Platinums with the discs inside, you can just open up and find out. So it really helped. So I picked up Medal of Honor Vanguard on Platinum, which I needed. $3.50 for a Medal of Honor game. State of Emergency, £1. That's about right for State of Emergency. And Medal of Honor European Assault for £1.50. So that's 3 Platinums off the list already, which is fantastic, because Platinums are not impossible, very hard to find. And I say this nearly every episode. Bearing in mind that Dan was going on a Platinum hunt that day in the first CEX, I went up 3-0 to him. Smug moment. Very smug moment. So 4 games from the normal collection. Firstly, I was kind of shocked I didn't have this. I must have overlooked it. Eternal Quest. Not a great game, not a bad game. It's just there in the middle. Curiously, obviously got from CEX Thetford, but obviously a lot of stickers on this one. It's going to be a colossal pisser in the future trying to get them off. That's any game collector in their weight knows. Getting stickers off the cases is one of the biggest pains in the arse you will ever have to achieve. And some people just don't bother. You might notice I haven't bothered yet, because some of these games still got the original game $7.99, that kind of stuff. You know what? The ones with the game station stickers on them, they kind of call for nostalgia. But besides that, I'm going to have to in the future take them all off. It's going to be a colossal pisser. Game number 5, NBA Ballers. Vince Carter! I refuse to shout Kobe Bryant. Simple as. I'll go with Vinsanity any day of the week. I didn't even know this game existed. One of the 20,000 NBA games on the PS2. Happy to get it for a sizzling $1.50. Probably will not try it. I'm sorry, Dave. Can you find footage of this? Because it's not your generic NBA basketball game. It looks like some kind of look at the fancy moves they're doing with this ball. Looks like one of those games. Game number 6, and probably one of the best games on the PS2. And I was stunned I didn't have this already. NBA Jam! He's on fire! Boom shakalaka! I regret all these phrases. Boom shakalaka! back in the day, the original NBA Jam in the 90s on like the Super Nintendo and the Sega Mega Drive Genesis, if you will, was fantastic. Is this one just as good? I don't know, I never played it, but I will try this. Not very often you hear me saying I'm going to try a sports game, but NBA Jam was the shit back in the day.
Power!
Yeah! Game number 7, the last game from CX Thetford, and a game that, as you can imagine, I would like for some time. Capcom vs SNK 2. Yes. As you know, I have an affinity for any kind of fighting game, and the Capcom vs SNK franchise, underrated. Obviously, Capcom vs Marvel is better, but when you can get Capcom fighters versus SNK fighters, I'm all in. I'm all in. I believe I already got the first one and now got the second one. That was the biggest buy of the Attleborough Thetford area. That was 15 quid. So all in all, I think I spent a good 70 quid in those two towns, which, considering I was trying to spread the money across all day, was a little more than I expected. And you'll find out in the next two episodes that my budget was here, and I kind of ended up like there, budget-wise. As I've overspent, but oh well. Very much another oh crap moment.
Oh crap.
Oh crap. So I was quite happy when I picked them in Attleborough and Thetford, so we need to put them on the board. For those who haven't noticed, yes, we broke the bank here at PS2 Manygames and spent £3 on a blackboard. No word of lie, there was a friend of the show, and man, he comments in the episode, I appreciate it, I've forgotten his name. Just suggested this, is that why don't you get like some kind of like whiteboard or blackboard so we can actually see how many games you've got. And the Einstein I am, I was like, that's an incredibly good idea, why haven't we done this? So after going to your local range, we came away with this. As you can see, before this episode, we were sitting on 1225 out of 2230 for the normal games, 87 plats out of 227 for the platinums. So we're over halfway on the normal games, getting close to halfway on the platinums. With the power of incredibly cheap chalk. And you might have done the mathematics already. We are now at 1232. Dave will put it on the bottom if need be. For the normal games, and 90 for the platinum games. So yeah, we're nearly halfway for the platinums now. Apparently I was horrifically wrong. I thought it was like 400 platinums. Apparently it's like 227. Once again, it's the internet, so there could be some lying going on here, right? But I'm very hopeful it's just 227, because we're nearly halfway if it is. I mean, we've already got Silent Hill 2. Trying to get Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 in platinum is going to probably prove the most terrible grammar alert. Finding DBZ Budokai Tenkaichi 3 in platinum is going to be incredibly hard.
It's not that hard, Scott. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
At the Norwich Gaming Market, which is 25th this month, by the way, so that's in about 13 days' time. That's the next time I'm going to go do some buying, by the way. So that is where I'm going to hope to find it. I know, that's very hopeful, Adam. But you've got to have hope. You've got to have hope. Blind, crippling hope. We need it. Right, so the new numbers are up there. 1232, 2230 for the normal, and 90 out of 227 for the platinum. Yeah, so I will do that at the end of every episode. I'll get new games for obvious reasons to update me. So we are making rapid progress to the 4 PS2 plat connection. As I mentioned in the last episode, after getting this for a fantastic deal, I'm probably going to try and get every box PS2 ever released. So that obviously means black chunky, silver chunky, aqua blue chunky, black slim, silver slim, pink slim. So that is 6 different boxes. It is achievable. The aqua blue one's going to be harder. Depending on finances, I might even try to go for every different kind of box. So obviously you've got the normal box, gradually free version, the other version of the black one, which is like the blackish, like bluish one, which is kind of cool. You know, all the kind of boxes. I'm going to try and go through them all. I might end up putting like a wall shelf along all the boxes. They're going to say that for obvious reasons, because I love that PS2 box. Well, I love the whole... Cut! For obvious reasons, I'm going to keep that there because it's probably my best buy for a significant amount of time. What, actually, have you used that PS2? No, probably not. Because I've got like four basic ones. I ain't got a box one, so that's not one. Have I used this PS2 yet? Yes, I have. Works perfectly well. Played Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memory. Not Yu-Gi-Oh! What? No. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses on this one. By the way, that game's awesome. Still holds up because it was like one of those cel-shaded games. Yeah. So, as you can imagine, part 2 will be out relatively shortly after this one. That will be Ipswich. Quite a few places we went to in Ipswich. That gets an episode. And part 3 will be Felixstowe. You'd be surprised, Felixstowe, for a very small town, quite a nice place to go. Shockingly nice place, if you will. I might also do a CX roulette on the Felixstowe one, just because I haven't done one in some time, and I want to get a certain game sooner rather than later. I'm not going to specify which one, but let's just say it's not easy to find. No shit, Adam. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. For those who just joined us, welcome to the channel. For those who've been here since day one, thank you for staying with us. I will continue this journey until it's finished, or until I get very, very close. What do I mean by that? When we get to like 20 or 30 games to find, like the ones that are very hard to find, it might take a while. Like, we're talking weeks to months to find certain games. For instance, I am still struggling to find 10,000 bullets for a decent price. I don't want to pay anything above 70 quid. Depending on price fluctuations, and otherwise CEX rigging the market, yeah, you know you do that, I might buy it sooner rather than later. Yeah. Side note, Rose of Ruin, or Ruin of Rose, I keep saying in the wrong order, I am dyslexic, I'm sorry, was in Norwich CEX for a cup of coffee. Barely lasted a day, it was gone. So, there are other hardcore PS2 buyers out there in the local area. For those of you, for that person who got that, well done. I'm not jealous at all. Yeah. There are some developments happening in the next month that I'm actually looking forward to. Some things I can't mention, some things I can mention. But we are becoming more, we are getting slightly more popular. More noticeable, if you will. Certain people are noticing this channel and getting the odd message from people on Instagram. Also, yes, we are on Instagram. Dave will put it along the bottom here. I will say one thing. For all you VTubers, Instagram, Twitch people who are trying to sell us like logos and stuff, please stop. I've had literally 8 different accounts on Instagram, all with the same messaging. It's like, hey, how are you? All with attractive young female profiles, all with the same logos. So I'm getting botted quite a lot for people trying to push like vinyl logos in us and trying to like cash in on this channel. Ain't gonna happen. Dave's in it for the long haul, just like me, and I trust Dave implicitly not to screw me over. No pressure, Dave. But in all seriousness, yeah, for those who like VTubers or Twitchers who are trying to sell their products, you are looking in the wrong place. You've been warned. For all you people, for everyone who is actually following, who are genuinely following for the right reasons, thank you. We appreciate you. Yes. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Have a good week. We'll be back next week with Ipswich. Maybe another episode in the middle if I have an issue, or if CEX does another price increase, which you know it's coming. It's coming. It comes every like once a month. It's coming.
So I'm coming day and night.
Also, this month's top 10, or next month's top 10, I haven't decided that yet, but that will be snuck in somewhere in the midweek. So you'll get like one episode and you get like the top 10 like 2 days later, because I'm going to be quite busy this week. This month I'm quite busy between the wrestling and other things to get into this month. Top 10 might be a little late than usual. So anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good day. See you later, guys. Thank you. Bye.